Good morning, Ainsley, Brian, Griff. Yeah, the historic signing just happened here. The president has signed the charter for the Board of Peace. He also signed the Gaza Declaration, which then starts the process to find a governing council, so to speak, for the Gaza area. 20 of the world leaders who signed on to the Board of Peace were there for the signing with President Trump. There are 59 applications that have been put out. The special envoy, Steve Witkoff, says that about more than half of those have signed on to those applications. The president says the board will start with Gaza and then branch out.
We're going to be very successful in Gaza. It's going to be a great thing to watch, and we can do other things. We can do numerous other things. Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do, and we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations. You know, I've always said the United Nations has got tremendous potential, has not used it.
So he adds they're going to work with the United Nations and European leaders concerned about the role of the Board of Peace, and this could be the outreach to get those leaders to join.
I think the UN has to remain as the primary international body working towards the peaceful resolution of conflicts. You know, all efforts to bring about peace have to be welcomed, but not at the expense or to the detriment of the long-established international framework that we have, which overall has served us well.
So right now, President Trump into his bilateral meetings. He's meeting with the president of Azerbaijan and will meet with President Zelensky later on. Listen to this.
So I meet with Ukraine, as you know, today with the president, and we'll be discussing it. We're meeting with President Putin today or tomorrow, and some people are going over, and I think they're getting close. A lot of people are being killed. We got to get it done.
He's sending Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner today to go to Moscow to talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin and push that peace agreement onto the Russians. Back to you guys.
So Edward, was everyone who signed up there?
No, everyone who signed up was not there. There's 36 or so countries that have signed on. This was 20 of those represented here in the room. It was interesting. The Indonesian prime minister was here, and that's a big deal because the president is also trying to get him to sign on to the Abraham Accords. So maybe there was some movement on them. I saw on the way out, he did talk with him briefly before he left the stage this morning.
Great. I promise not to do this agreement. Can we get that tweet? I'm not one to call the president a liar. In fact, if anything, the president has just made good on his most famous promise. Man, that was fast, Klein. That was fast. This is like Klein AI, ALX AI. It's incredible, this program. We are hitting our stride in the new year. If anything, President Trump has made good on his oldest campaign promise. Please, Hillary Clinton, you'd be in jail. I have the clip right here, actually. I have the clip right here. Because you'd be in jail. Because they voted yesterday. It took them forever. When did it come in, Klein? They finally had the contempt vote at like 5 p.m., okay? You remember we were covering it in the morning? We were like, how long is this going to go on? It took them like 7 hours to get it done. But Hillary Clinton will be going to jail. Do you understand? So Donald Trump made good on his oldest promise, arguably, which is he told all of us 10 years ago that Hillary Clinton would be going to jail. Just pop it up whenever you got it, man. Pop it up whenever you got it. Hillary Clinton, because you'd be in jail. Donald Trump made good on that. She was found in contempt of Congress yesterday and was able to get not only the Republicans voting against her, but was also able to get a bunch of Republicans voting against. Here it is, Klein. Here you go, buddy. There you go. Oh, I was at the top of the chat. There you go. So sorry for just off the top here. There's so much breaking news actually right now. Let me try and organize my thoughts. Okay, Trump breaking a promise and making a promise. Here we go. This is what you voted for. President Trump's oldest promise right here.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Give me the red horse, Come on! And then lo and behold, Hillary Clinton will be going to jail. I have this on some very firm grounds. We've been talking with the DOJ. We've been talking with the FBI. We've been talking with people that have been our friends for a long time in this Trump Justice Department. They got dozens of Democrats to vote to hold Hillary Clinton, dozens. They got, 7 Democrats to hold Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress yesterday. What was the final tally? That's the oldest promise, one of the oldest promise of Donald Trump is that we put Hillary Clinton in jail. And lo and behold, Democrats are voting to put Hillary Clinton in jail. That's the timeline we're living in. Seriously. Now, President Trump has projected and manifested Greenland for America. And I only say this because Jerry sends me on a total tangent with this image from his meme. This is the meme we just played. It's a beautiful meme, Jerry. I love it. But it's Trump Tower in Greenland. Do you know this is going to happen? And this is where Trump broke a promise. Because one of Trump's oldest and best tweets is, I promise not to do this to Greenland. And the I promise not to do this to Greenland was sent a couple of years ago. I think it was in the year 2018, 19. And here it is. There it is. Well, well, well. I promise not to do this to Greenland. 30,000 comments, 74,000 reposts, and 290,000 likes. Well, President Trump, you did actually end up doing this to Greenland. What a timeline. The sacred golden timeline. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your new Greenland. Yeah, we're getting Greenland. Yeah. Jerry is manifesting. We are manifesting here, and the arrests are happening. I told you earlier in the week, you can hold me accountable if the arrests don't happen. Ladies and gentlemen, not only are they happening, in the time of my little rant here, they're happening even more. Pam Bondi is live tweeting the number of arrests for BLM activists. Okay, we'll get there. We gotta actually like try and do some structure on this show. We got Matt Walsh showing up. Matt Walsh is like a real legit person. We gotta like tighten up around here. Okay, everyone wear a suit. We'll never do that. Everyone put on your Sunday best. We are going in. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Jack Smith is testifying live right now. We got it on the screen. We'll pop it up for you. It's just Jim Jordan chatting it through with Jack Smith in the hot seat. So much is going on. The DOJ has begun arresting left-wing BLM terrorists. Are you ready to go? Matt Walsh and Chip Roy will join the program as Donald Trump closes in on Greenland. He's getting it. Dude, Trump got it. Trump got the Greenland deal done. It's done. It's done. Trump, it's ours. The whole island ours. We'll talk through all of the details of the manifest destiny, Don Road doctrine, President Trump ruling an empire. We are an empire once more. We are a superpower once more. And ladies and gentlemen, it feels good to be back. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. We are charged up this morning. Make sure that you're taking care of your health in the new year. Bond Charge is a holistic wellness brand that has an incredible product that I use. Dude, red light mask, red light therapy, especially in these dark winter months. You'll notice I'm not wearing a t-shirt because it's kind of chilly actually in Tampa. It's going to be a big snowstorm. It's going to be big storms all week and weekend. It's going to be gray for a couple months. Get your red light, man. Red light's good for you. It's healthy for you. It really leaves you feeling not only revitalized, but also replenishes what sort of gets robbed from us inside of these office and fluorescent light environments like I work in and you work in. Just 10 to 20 minutes a day. You can use it while cooking a meal or putting your kids to bed. It can help boost collagen, elastin. Great for your skin, great for your health, great for your mood. Have a younger looking skin. Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll with Bond Charge today. Go to bondcharge.com/Benny and use the coupon code Benny for 15% off. BONCHARGE.com/Benny. Bondcharge.com/Benny. patreon.com/Benny. Use coupon code, save 15%. This is a great product. Do use every single day. Okay, here we go. Let's do our breaking news. Okay, let's freaking go. Breaking news live right now. Breaking news live right now. We're gonna change the breaking news logo. We're gonna change the breaking news logo. We're just like a little like Jerry, can you work on that today, please? Can we get like a new breaking news stinger? Some of those like new AI motion graphics sites that we've been talking about. Can you like work on a breaking news stinger that's like completely epic? I think I want like a nuclear bomb that like lands in the middle of the screen. Yeah, like a reverse cringe alert. We don't do the cringe alerts anymore because Cringe Jean Pierre, she's like been banished to whatever, Epstein Island. Maybe she's been banished to Greenland. I don't know. We're going to talk about all of that, but the most important thing is our promise to you earlier in the week. We said that you can hold us personally accountable if we don't have arrests by this week. We laid it on the table and we said we will have arrests by this week. That's how confident we were. Why? Well, because we are the Publishers Clearinghouse for the administration's law enforcement that comes through on our channel, whether it's Mike Davis or whether it's Harmeet Dillon, members of the DOJ, who we are in direct contact with on the ground. We told you Pam Bondi was on the ground. We broke that news, and we said we're going to have arrests for the church storming. Back up. There was a church. It's called City's Church. They were having a Christian service, and these BLM terrorists stormed in, incited and stoked on and supported by the likes of Don Lemon. Don Lemon rushed the altar and started interviewing the pastor and people were being harassed. We have all the videos. We've showed you all the videos. It hurts the soul. These sociopaths were going row by row and threatening children, attacking little Christian children. I know we have the image. Attacking little Christian kids. I have this one from the Give, Set, and Go. Klein, there you go. If you want that. They were preventing Christians from worshiping, and they were violating their rights. And this is what it looked like in part, just two freeze frames here. A little child crying in his father's arms, the pastor simply trying to give the word of God, and these are demons. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just and righteous is our way. How about a Bible verse for this morning? He has delivered me from every trouble, and my eye has looked in triumph upon my enemies. Psalm 54. The FBI and the DOJ at time of our right now, is arresting these BLM terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and check in right now. Minnesota agitator is arrested in the wake of church invasion. Pam Bondi says, let's read the tweet. And my producers tell me that Pam Bondi is continuing to live tweet the arrests. More are rolling in. So let's load them all up. Minutes ago at my direction, Homeland Security investigations and FBI agents have executed an arrest in Minnesota. So far, we have arrested Nakima Levy Armstrong, who allegedly played a key role in organizing a coordinated attacks on the city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota. We will share more updates as they become available. Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship. Do we have more arrests? I'm hungry for more arrests. Let's go. Update. Second arrest has been made at my direction. Chantil Louisa Allen has been taken into custody. Chantil. Okay, got it. Don't name your kid after Chernobyl. We will prosecute, and we will protect our houses of worship, says Pam Bondi. Harmeet Dillon, good news. Stay tuned. More to come. Had a little chit-chat with DOJ this morning. Let's just say an impeccable source who would know a lot about what's going on right now, given the fact that they're like, signing the paperwork. And let's just say that you're going to have a whole day of this. You're going to have a big live-long day of arrests. Now, will Don Lemon be dragged in, kicking and sobbing and screaming. Man, I would love to wipe the smirk off his face. Don Lemon, who has been out declaring that he engaged in a hate crime. What do I mean by that? Harmeet Dillon was on the program saying, you know, we're going to look into whether Don Lemon did this because he wanted to terrorize white people. Now, we have footage of Don Lemon gleefully tee-hee-heeing that he's terrorizing white people. Now, he did it on his stream. There's a lot of criminals in the world. There always has been. Not many are dumb enough to live stream their crimes. And Don Lemon is that dumb. This is like caveman dumb. This is like Neanderthal, dumb. This is levels of stupidity that would really make your ancestors' say, what went wrong? You know, what are we doing this for? This is footage of Don Lemon saying, look, these kids, they're traumatized. That's his exact word. They're terrorized. And that's the point. Then Don Lemon, 24 hours later, goes on Dylan Mulvaney's grandmother's Skeletor podcast and says, actually, I did this because they were white. I attacked these people. I engaged in this because they're white. Well, that's a hate crime, bro. And Harmeet Dillon straight up said, we're going to use the KKK Act to charge you. She broke that news on our show. It did 10 million views on X. This was the most viral clip for 24 straight hours on X. Harmeet Dillon saying, we are going to be using a Reconstruction era 1871 KKK Act called Conspiracy Against Rights to arrest Don Lemon. So let me just set the table here for you so that we can all celebrate together with Matt Walsh, who will be joining the program in just a minute. BLM, these are Black Lives Matter, affiliated, associated, organizing terrorists. We have often said for years that BLM is a terrorist organization akin to the KKK. So these Black Klansmen, which is what we're going to call them, are now being rounded up and arrested under the KKK law. We have reached the singularity. We have reached a world that is completely and totally colorblind. It's everything. It's right in time for MLK Day. It's everything MLK ever wanted. We have finally reached the perfect equilibrium. Zen. We're here. Where black terrorists are being prosecuted under the KKK law. Here's Harmeet Dillon breaking that news on this show 48 hours ago, telling you what was about to happen. I saw the hate in the comments. Sorry, I'm not going to stop yelling. I saw it in the comments. Y'all said there's never going to be any arrests. Don't show me an arrest. There's not going to be any arrests. Listen, I understand that this DOJ ain't been perfect, but let's give credit where credit is due here. Here we go.
We'll pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
You unpack this for us, Harmeet.
Yeah, the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes, and it goes back to the time when President Lincoln emancipated the slaves, and yet the southern states, Dixiecrats mainly, were refusing to give them equal rights. And in fact, that you had sheriffs and you had law enforcement harassing the newly freed slaves. So the Klan Act is a law that makes it illegal to terrorize citizens, to violate their civil rights, to get together and conspire to violate the civil rights. It is often used against law enforcement, but is now used against others as well. So whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens. The Klan Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge. We, in the federal law enforcement parlance, call this 241 and 242 civil and criminal conspiracies. And so what the Biden administration did is, if three grandmas got together to pray outside an abortion clinic for the souls of the people inside, and including unborn children, they would say, oh, that's not just a violation of the Klan Act, that's a conspiracy to violate the civil rights of women going in there to get abortions. And so we're going to add additional charges and punish that more and make it from a misdemeanor under the FACE Act to a felony under the Klan Act.
Did you get what you voted for? Getting what you voted for yet? Don Lemon kissing this organizer on the cheek. Look, the kiss of Judas here. It really is amazing. So this is Nikema, who was just arrested. Let's get the full Nikema Levy Armstrong. Here's Don Lemon kissing her, the kiss of Judas, because Don Lemon then suddenly, after kissing her and working with her all day and hyping her and signaling that they were going to go into the church, Don Lemon knew everything that was going on. Don Lemon delivered coffee to these goblins and orcs. Look at this. Don Lemon was super proud to be fueling the protest with Starbucks. He kissed the protester that's now been arrested. How long until Don Lemon is arrested? We'll be waiting for that, man. The FBI is arresting BLM terrorists under the KKK Act. Please understand the moment that we are living in. Please appreciate that we are inside of the sacred timeline right now. Got the breaking news right here. Let's go ahead and check in and see if there's anything that we missed. Let's go.
Fox News alert, because moments ago, remember that church incident on Sunday in Minneapolis? The AG Pam Bondi posted this, all right? I'm reading now. Minutes ago, at my direction, HSI and FBI agents executed an arrest in Minnesota. So far, we've arrested okay, we'll come back to that. So far, we have arrested Nikema Levy Armstrong, who allegedly played a key role in organizing the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. We will share more updates as they become available. Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship, end quote. I want you to react to that, Paul. But on Monday, Tricia McLaughlin was on with Dana and me. And part of her answer said, I think we will be seeing mugshots very soon. She was tipping her hand that arrests were on the way, and this is the first one that's been made.
Yeah, and, look, there's going to be very, very little that they can do in defense of this because it's on film, and for once, they didn't cover their faces. Now, here is the thing that's going to come out of this. You have her under arrest. Now you're going to get the communications. And this is where it starts to spider web out. You start to see who was talking to who showed up in regard, including Don Lemon. How much did they all know going in? That imports things like conspiracy charges, which can be quite heavy. There's criminal civil rights charges that are implicated in the church incident.
This is also because one of the things that we found out about that was that they were targeting them because they were privileged white supremacists.
We talked about that earlier in the week. Not only did that come out in the video and that they said something like that in the church, but then after the fact, Lemon talks about exactly that, putting a racial overtone in the whole thing, which potentially could import a hate crime. So this was really bad.
This is incredible. I can't believe this is in my timeline. Check this out, Killer Klein. Check this out. This is CNN. Do you know CNN was platforming this terrorist just a day or two ago? Left-wing lunatic who led the band of extremists to storm a church went on CNN last night to gaslight about what actually happened. Got no tough questions from wine mom Erin Burnett, professional wine and Xanax mom, part-time CNN anchor, Erin Burnett, who just asked a bunch of how are you feeling? How do you feel about this? Harmeet Dillon coming in over the top, saying she's just been arrested on the basis of a warrant where a judge found probable cause. Good job with the tough questions, Erin Burnett. So this is the lowest possible threshold to arrest somebody. The judge is like, go for it. Go for it. Let's go ahead and check in here with FBI Director Kash Patel. We're just going to do a little victory lap here because everybody was dooming all of the doomers said, no, nothing's ever going to happen. No one's going to get arrested. Kash Patel, this morning, FBI and Homeland Security Investigations executed a search warrant and arrest of Nakima Levy Armstrong, one of the individuals who organized the coordinated attack on City's church in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota this weekend. This is a violation of the FACE Act. This, of course, is an act that we've read to you on the stream multiple times. It says that you're not allowed to go and storm a church. You're not allowed to go and harass or attack people that are worshiping in any house of God. You're not allowed to do it to a synagogue or to a mosque or to a Christian church. Now, where's the KKK Act comes in? The KKK Act comes in as an accelerant to the charges. So they're able to tack on charges for this FACE Act violation and get more years in prison to show conspiracy to collude ahead of time against the rights. And here's where we got Don Lemon dead to rights. Hey, Alex, would you please fish me up that Nakima Armstrong Facebook post where she tags Don Lemon and says, great job organizing today, everyone. Really amazing job. We've done an incredible job here. Our planned attack on the church. Our planned attack on the church went great. There you go. And she tags Don Lemon. Isn't that great? Isn't this an incredible piece of evidence? Boy, Don Lemon, by the way, you'll see exactly how thick as thieves these people are. No honor among thieves. Rat eat rat is what's about to happen. Don Lemon threw Nakima Armstrong under the bus. Man, he threw her as fat. He threw her. Oh, yeah. Here's some real solidarity for you. Don Lemon took this black organizer and chucked her right into the wood chipper. As soon as the heat got turned up on him a little bit, Don Lemon ran and hid and said, look, her, she's the criminal. She's the one. She's the one who did it. Don't look at me. Now she tags him. What do you think she's going to tell the feds? Hey, lady, listen, here's what can happen. You plead out. We'll give you only, we could give you 20 years in prison. We'll give you 10. And you tell us that Don Lemon knew about this ahead of time and helped you organize it. You let us squeeze the lemon. It's going to be amazing. It's called the Maduro play. It's incredible. It's exactly what's going on. It's why they black bagged Maduro's wife. You know what I mean? It's called leverage. It's incredible. Okay. A beautiful moment in American history here. We're very, very excited about it. And we're extremely, extremely excited for our next guest to talk all about it. Obviously, a man who needs absolutely no introduction. Somebody who I hope that I can inspire with my fresh ideas for brand new documentaries that he should be engaging in. But he also has a brand new series out at the Daily Wire. His name is Matt Walsh. And I couldn't think of a better guest to join us on this glorious celebratory day. Let's go. Matt, welcome back to the program. How you doing, man?
Good, Benny. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm sure that you are celebrating these arrests. Did they surprise you? I know that you've been posting quite a bit about it. Are you happy that the DOJ is taking these actions? Seems pretty aggressive, honestly. I like it.
I'm thrilled. I mean, this is obvious. Everything you just said there is exactly correct. It's exactly what we needed. There's been, look, for conservatives, we are, I'm the same. I qualify this way also, that we're so used to the people in power who claim to be conservative or claim to be Republican not actually doing anything, talking a big game and then not doing anything, or writing a sternly worded letter or saying, yeah, we'll investigate, we'll look into it, and nothing happens. And so we're very used to that happening. And so you can't really blame us for sort of assuming, well, yeah, same thing's going to happen again. But the difference this time around, and we've seen this not just here, but all throughout Trump's second term, is that we're actually going out and doing the thing too, because you can actually do it. And I think the point that you raise is very good, that these people, these leftists, they turn on each other right away. Don Lemon throwing everybody under the bus, even though it's incredibly clear that he's just as guilty, at a minimum, just as guilty as the rest of them. Even if it were true that he didn't know what they were doing, which it isn't, even if it were true he didn't know what they were doing, he just kind of saw this mob out in the parking lot or something and decided to tag along to see what they're up to. Well, the moment they walk into the church, Now you know what they're doing. It's pretty unambiguous. And you chose to come in and join them. And so you're just as guilty, even if you didn't know ahead of time, which he did. But they all turn on each other. And that's because they all, just like conservatives have grown so accustomed over the decades to, Republicans not doing anything, the left, they're also very accustomed to that. And so they just assume at this point they can do whatever they want and there will be no consequences. And that's why they can go out there and they can cosplay as these revolutionaries, and they can play. To them, it's just a game. It's like a big game that they're playing. They assume that there will be no consequences. The moment you start instituting consequences, everything falls apart for them because they were not expecting this. They're not prepared for it. They didn't sign up for this. They signed up for, let's cosplay as revolutionaries and then go home and scroll TikTok and look at all the comments congratulating us and then go to sleep in our nice homes. And that's it. Like, that's what they thought they were going to get. You start putting in place real consequences and they're all going to fall apart. And I'm thrilled.
Rat eat rat. There's absolutely no honor among thieves. Don Lemon immediately turned on the organizers, even though he's on camera kissing one of them, bringing them coffee. He went to the altar of the church. Matt, I know you've done quite a few controversial documentaries, but if you ever stormed a mosque and ran up to an imam and put a microphone in his face and disrupted their service, how fast do you think you'd be in jail?
I don't think I'd make it to my car. Well, I think I might have consequences that are more immediate than jail if I were to storm a mosque. But if I somehow survive that, then I don't think I'd make it to my car. And also, by the way, talk about the left not anticipating consequences. The FACE Act itself, of course, was designed by the left to put these special protections in place for abortion clinics. Which, of course, an abortion clinic is not an establishment that should have any special protections at all. It shouldn't exist in the first place, but it shouldn't have any special protections at all. But that's what the FACE Act was for. They kind of threw in this other stuff about, this will apply to houses of worship, just to get the bill through and to make it seem like, this is, it's to help both sides. But they didn't actually intend. They never intended for this thing to be used to actually prosecute leftists who are interrupting churches, and so this is and yet that's what the law says, and so we can enforce it, and we should, and so they never anticipated any part of this, and they're finally reaping what they sow.
What should happen to Don Lemon, Matt?
Well, go through the book, right? Look at the book. Talk about throwing the book at someone. Well, go through it and find every possible crime that you can charge him with legally. And there's a bunch. It's not just one. Find every crime you can charge him with every single one down to the letter, and then give him the maximum possible sentence for every single one. In other words, do to him exactly what the left does to us. Do to him exactly what the left did with the January 6ers. Just do that. Do exactly what the left would do. To use your example, if I, as a quote right-wing extremist, stormed a mosque under a Democrat administration, what would they do to me? Let's just ask that. What would they do? Well, the answer is I'd be in prison for a very long time. They would make sure that I wake up for the rest of my life until I die regretting having done that. It's going to ruin my life. I'm going to regret it every second of my day. They would make sure of that. And that's exactly what should happen to Don Lemon. I want him to wake up every single day, and the first thought in his head is, my God, I wish I had never done that. But he did. And now he should reap the consequences to the maximum possible degree.
So Don Lemon, I didn't know that you could possibly be this mentally handicapped, but he did go on Dylan Mulvaney's grandmother's podcast immediately, and he ran there right as we were broadcasting with Harmy Dillon. And Harmy Dillon said, listen, Don Lemon is better be careful here, because if we find out here at Civil Rights that there was some racial element to this, that these BLM activists, these primarily black activists, that you could see the group, were attacking a church because of their race, because they thought that it was a white church, then there's going to be some real accelerant to our charges. There's going to be some potential hate crime charges there, and those are the kind of things that stick 20, 30 years, right? This is the kind of stuff that, that really just properly destroy your life and make sure that you'll die an old person in prison. And Matt, within the hour of Harmeet saying that on our show, Don Lemon goes on this lady's program, which I'd like to get your take on, whatever Jennifer Welsh is, which I don't know. It looks like a really bad Terminator exoskeleton or a skin suit for some type of either robot or alien. Whatever it is, he goes on there and he straight up says, it's white people. White people, bro. I did this because they're white and they have white privilege. And they're dripping in their white privilege and they don't understand it. And that's why we went there, to terrorize their children. He just straight up he says it. So again, to the metaphor of like you doing this to a mosque, if you were stupid enough to go out and say, yeah, I'm doing this because they're brown or because I don't like Middle Eastern people, and you just go on your podcast and say, dude, you'd be cooked. You'd be done forever, bro. You'd never see your children again. You'd be finished. What? Again, like I'm lucky it's a gift from God to have such stupid enemies, but.
Yeah, and well, in terms of Jennifer Welsh, whatever her name is, I've said that to me she looks a bit like, and I don't mean this as an insult, it's just true. I think she looks a bit like Willem Dafoe's trans older brother, or like maybe if the Joker escaped Arkham and then became trans and started a podcast, it's a little bit what she looks like. But again, it's just a description. I mean, as an insult. And in terms of Don Lemon, it is pretty amazing that he, just goes right. Like maybe he it's some kind of argument he could try to make that, well, I didn't intend this. I didn't know what was happening. This was not racially motivated. I was like, he could have tried that, but instead he just goes out in public like, yeah, this is about white people. I hate white people. And so the consequences are very clear. But keep in mind, I mean, these are people, again, you go back to 2020. I mean, they were storming police stations in the middle of cities and burning them to the ground with no concern about any consequences at all. This is what they're used to. They're coming from a world where, hey, we can like burn entire city blocks to the ground and throw cement blocks at cops, and most of us won't go to jail. That's what they're thinking. And so in that context, like, well, we could burn a police station to the ground and not have any consequences. So, like, of course we could just storm a church. I mean, that's nothing compared to that. But I think they're so that, that's kind of the effing around part that they've done. And now they're in the finding out phase finally. And I couldn't be happier about it.
I did want to touch on one other element here, because all of these protests seem to be for a Somali population in Minneapolis that couldn't care less about left-wing activists. In fact, they probably hate Jennifer Welsh and her kind more than you or I do, right? They probably are so disgusted by her and so repulsed by egalitarian liberalism that more than we are even. And these people are out there literally putting their lives on the line, some of them losing their lives, ramming ICE agents in order to fight for a population of Somalis that, well, frankly, are incompatible with the West and truly hate them. Like, what is that? Can you break that down? Like, what is that pathology? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's hard to understand. I will say I take issue with one thing, which is that there's no way they're more disgusted by Jennifer Welsh than I am. I just don't. I will not cede that to anybody. Although they probably are disgusted. If they have eyes, then they're going to be disgusted. Yeah, it is. That's the part that we can't gloss over here. We have to always keep in mind. It's like, why is all this happening? Why are these leftists out in the street going crazy? And at the broadest level, it's because they're upset that our immigration laws are being enforced legally according to the book, which is crazy enough in and of itself. But then what's the catalyst for this particular flare-up, this blow-up, especially in Minneapolis? Well, as you said, it's in particular because Somali scam artists who are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from these people in Minnesota, because they are being deported, and yet they're out in the street screaming about it. It's a very, well, look, leftism is an ideology of destruction. It's an ideology of, it's not an ideology of building. That's why they want to, we say, well, they want to redefine womanhood. They don't want to redefine it. They just want to get rid of what the thing is and replace it with nothing. So, and this is all they talk about: deconstructing, destroying, dismantling is their favorite word. Why would dismantling be the favorite word, the slogan of a political movement? I mean, most of the time you want to claim you're building something, but for them it's just dismantle. They want to dismantle America. They want to dismantle the West, dismantle the patriarchy, dismantle the family, marriage, and all the rest of it. But this also applies to themselves. So it's an ideology of destruction and loathing and self-loathing. And so then when you think of it in those terms, I guess it makes sense that they're out there defending this population of people who obviously have a very poisonous and destructive effect on the United States. I mean, that's why they support them. It's for that reason.
Why are there hundreds of thousands of Somalis in America? Did any politician ask permission of the American people to bring in this specific population to our country?
No, they didn't. And as much as we hear about the left talking about democracy and the wonders of democracy, well, yeah, I don't remember ever voting on this. I don't think that ever went up for a vote where any politician, to your point, came to us and said, "Hey, what do you think?" Like, right? Hey, there's that failed state in Africa, that war-torn, terrorism-plagued failed state in Africa with an average IQ of 68. What do you think if we just start importing those people by the boatload into this country? What do you guys think? Are you yay or nay? I don't remember that ever happening, and I think that if we had gotten a say or a vote or even a discussion, almost every normal American would say, "Well, obviously not." You know, it's what's in it for us. I mean, this is America first. This is what America first means. It's the same thing that in every other country they do this kind of instinctively. Only here is it some sort of controversy where, okay, if we're going to do something as a country, then as America, then it should first and foremost benefit Americans. If it benefits other people too, then great. But it should first and foremost benefit Americans. So before we do anything, the first question should be, what is in it for Americans? How do Americans benefit? And if the answer is they don't, if the answer is, well, it doesn't really benefit them, but it's great for the Somalis, well, then we shouldn't do it. And that's America first. It's also just basic common sense.
Yes, basic common sense that isn't taught in schools. I did want to get to this, and we could talk for the next hour, Matt. I know that you're up against a hard out, but your new series, Real History with Matt Walsh, I watched one of the episodes yesterday that you guys sent us on slavery in Africa, and it was eye-opening. I had my producers pull up a clip. I don't think we'll have time to play it, of Don Lemon getting completely roasted live on CNN by a British historian saying, yeah, it was actually the Africans that created slaves in Africa. And they were as torturous, villainous, and evil as any slaveholder here in the Americas. And I watched your episode. It was incredible deconstruction of this. Can you talk me through your new series?
Yeah, so this is a series where we're going to take a look at some of the most talked about episodes in history that talked about but are very little understood. The media lies about it, Hollywood lies about it, all of our institutions, and of course the education system most of all, because we know that for not just for the last few years, but for generations now, for decades, the goal of the education system in this country has been to get Americans, to get kids to hate this country and be ashamed of it. And so we're going to look at many of these episodes in history that are used in that way as a cudgel to make people ashamed of themselves, ashamed of their country. And what we're going to find is that, you know, the story you were told about these things, starting with slavery, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. It's entirely out of context. Many of the things you're told are just a flat-out lie. And we're going to look at it, and there are so many basic, and you know, this is a 45 minutes. We don't have time in the series to go into all the details. Slavery is a global institution that existed for many thousands of years across the entire world, and so you could spend your entire life studying it. So we just start with like, okay, here are the basics, and go pursue the rest of it yourself. Pursue the knowledge yourself is what you should do. But what you'll find even in 45 minutes is like, wow, I wasn't told any of this. No one told me any of this. And so we hope that people will subscribe and watch the series.
Can you just give a live version of this really quickly on Greenland? I know that it is a wonderful thing to actually be part of it's a blessing to be part of a strong nation, a superpower, a nation that has an actual leader with a clear vision, and an expansionist nation that shows vitality and that something's actually working here and we're growing and that our people are strong. It's a good thing, in fact. Your thoughts on Greenland as that sort of materializes? Final question.
I think it's great. I think we absolutely should pursue it. I think that this is America at its core. I think the people that are so scandalized by the idea of America expanding in any way, of claiming new territory, I think the people that say that they have no understanding. Again, I mean, to go to the theme, they have no understanding of American history.
Yes.
This is America. I mean, what do you think, that we just this entire the continental United States was just sort of inherited? No, it was expanded. We fought for it. We bargained for it. We pioneered. We discovered. And America at its best, that's what America is all about. And I think it's great to have a leader that is recapturing that very American spirit again.
We have a photo for you, Matt, as a parting gift. I know that you have your show to do, but here's a photo as a parting gift to Matt Walsh, who we're huge fans of here. Nakima Armstrong getting arrested, bro. Look at that. There's your. Did you ever think you'd see it? BLM terrorists being arrested under the KKK law, Matt. Come on.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know what to say, but it would bring a tear to my eye if I had any soul at all at this point.
Final parting thoughts on them using the KKK Act to bring the BLM terrorists into federal custody.
Well, I think, along with the FACE Act too, I think this is just it's poetic. This is poetic justice, and I think we've all been waiting for it, and it's great to see that it's finally here.
It is wonderful to see. Thank you, Matt, so much. Everybody, please check out. You obviously already follow Matt. He's got 4 million subscribers here on X, millions more on YouTube. His new series called Real History with Matt Walsh is an absolute banger. You got to check it out at the Daily Wire. Thank you, Matt. Godspeed, man.
Thanks.
Oh, exciting, fun. Throw that photo up one more time. I gotta see it. I gotta see it on my Patriot mobile phone. Let's do a co-branded read here. This photo brought to you by Patriot Mobile, ladies and gentlemen. Although Klein, I think we could have used a little more focus, right? Clean the lens a little bit on the camera and get like a little sharper. I would have liked. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Using a brand new Patriot Mobile phone. Maybe you get a little crisper image. Either way, I love it. I love the fact that she has her lipstick on. Get me the crying mascara, baby. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, is it lipstick on her teeth? Yikes, yuck. What are you gonna say here, man? You gotta be able to move freely throughout the world unless you're a BLM terrorist. When we're moving freely, we use Patriot Mobile to make sure that we are connected to you with top tier precision. We will be traveling, maybe, as long as the weather holds up, to Texas. I don't know, man. There's supposed to be a huge storm hitting Texas. This weekend, we'll be bringing Patriot Mobile with us. It is a Christian conservative wireless provider that upholds your values. Just like this photo probably upholds your values. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, call 972-PATRIOT, and use the promo code Benny for a free month of service. patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT to make the switch today. Come on, baby. Let's freaking go. Matt Walsh is great. I wish we had another hour, I wish he had his show to do. So I wish we had an hour. Also, they just recessed with the Jack Smith hearing. You can see right here. It's an Oversight Office Special Counsel Jack Smith. I was watching it out of the corner of my eye. It was just like a bunch of bitching. It was just a bunch of complaining. That was it. Jack Smith, I don't think, said anything. I don't think he even got his opening statement out. So we're going to show you Jack Smith in the hot seat. When they return, ladies and gentlemen, we will also keep up with some very, very strong news cycle today. I guess we're gonna move on to Greenland here as we ended this. Sort of ended this. Oh, cool! We got Elon live at the World Economic Forum. That's neat. Why is Oh yeah, that's right. BlackRock's Larry Fink is like in charge of the World Economic Forum now. Is that correct, ALX? Larry Fink, like, because they kicked Klaus Schwab to the curb. Klaus Schwab, the old Nazi, like an actual Nazi, right? They tapped an actual Nazi. Larry Fink's got like some tie-in, right? So now he's like in charge of the WEF. Let's listen to Elon for just a second.
The insurance companies have said that it is actually so safe when Tesla full self-driving is so safe that they're offering customers half-price insurance if they use Tesla full self-driving in their car.
And that can be monitored by the insurance company? Is that part of the agreement?
Yeah. I think self-driving cars is essentially a solved problem at this point.
Right.
And Tesla's rolled out sort of robotaxi service in a few cities, and
Right.
will I think be very, very widespread by the end of this year within the U.S. And then we hope to get supervised full self-driving approval in Europe, hopefully next month.
Really that quickly?
Yeah, and then maybe a similar timing for China, hopefully.
I want to move to space because historically space is very capital intensive. It has historically been done by governments. Obviously, SpaceX changed the whole model. But we've seen it slow to scale, and now I'm starting to see it ramping up in what you're doing and other things. Talk to us about the automation and AI, how it's changing the economics in building and preparing for us in operating in space.
Sure. Well, the key
Let's just listen
breakthrough
through this answer.
That's right. The major breakthrough that SpaceX is hoping to achieve this year is full reusability. So no one has ever achieved full reusability of a rocket, which is very important for the cost of access to space. We've achieved partial reusability with Falcon 9 by landing the boost stage. We've now landed the boost stage over 500 times. But we have to throw away the upper stage. The upper stage sort of burns up on reentry for Falcon 9. So, and the cost of that is equivalent to a small to medium-sized jet. So, but with Starship, which is a giant rocket, it's the largest flying machine ever made.
That's a rocket that you're using for the idea of going to Mars, right?
Yeah, Mars and the Moon, as well as for high-volume satellite stuff. So, Starship. Hopefully this year we should prove full reusability for Starship, which will be a profound invention because the cost of access to space will drop by a factor of 100 when you achieve full reusability.
Right.
It's the same sort of economic difference that you would expect that, between, say, a reusable aircraft and a non-reusable aircraft. Like if you have to throw your aircraft away after every flight, that would be a very expensive flight. But if you only have to refuel, then it's the cost of the fuel. And so that's really the fundamental breakthrough that gets the cost of access to space, we think, below the cost of freight on aircraft. So, you know, under $100 a pound type of thing easily. Wow. So it makes putting large satellites into space very low, very cheap. And then when you have solar in space, you get 5 times more effectivenher, maybe even more than that, than solar on the ground, because it's always sunny.
It's cold.
It's always sunny, so you don't have a day-night cycle or seasonality, right, or weather, and you get about 30% more power in space because you don't have atmospheric attenuation of the power. Right. The net effect is solar is 5 times more. Any given solar panel will do 5 times more energy in space than on the ground.
Is there any capacity in doing that and then taking that power and bringing it back to Earth? Is there any way of doing that, or you're just taking that power and utilizing it for the needs, like building AI data centers in space?
I think the case, it's a no-brainer for building solar-powered AI data centers in space, because as you mentioned, it's also very cold in space. If you're in the shadow, then it's very cold in space, just 3 degrees Kelvin. So you just have solar panels facing the sun, and then a radiator that's pointed away from the sun, so it has no sun incidence, and then it's just cooling. It's a very efficient cooling system.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Net effect is that the lowest cost.
Give me a chance to look through here. And I mean, one, it's amazing to hear Elon Musk talk about space. It's amazing to hear our country. I mean, isn't it nice to I'm sending just a few things I want up, Klein. Isn't it nice to be part of a country that has vitality and where people can talk about changing space travel, making it accessible to private citizens, like unlocking the majesty of God's universe and the stars, bringing the stars to Earth? It's miraculous. It really is amazing. This year, you've seen something really neat with Elon Musk. I mean, he started tweeting Bible verses and the Lord's Prayer. This last fall it is incredible. I pray for Elon Musk's conversion to Christianity. I feel like that is the next step. This happens with all great scientists and thinkers, whether it's Einstein or Sir Isaac Newton, Max Planck. They all come to the absolute certitude that God created the universe, that physics and mathematics are the language of God, and that the way that these planets are set in motion is by the hand of God, right? And no one else. And I think that Elon Musk is actually on that trajectory. It's very cool what's happening. We like to follow it. We like to track it. Obviously, the audience likes Elon Musk as well. You'll like this. Here are the photos of two of the arrested. We have one arrest photo, and then the other one is a member of the school board. Chantel Allen is a member of the St. Paul School Board. Woof. Buzz, your girlfriend. There you go. Send him to the base. Send him to the new prison on Greenland, please. It'll be good for him. It'll be good for you. President Trump getting us Greenland. Let's go, baby. NATO responds to Trump, hails Greenland deal covering entire Arctic region that involves small pockets of land for U.S. bases. President Trump yesterday released what is the breakdown of what the deal is going to look like. And the breakdown goes like this. You know, Trump posted on a Truth yesterday, hey, we have the architecture of a deal. We have the skeleton of a deal. We're going to get land that's going to be sovereign American land. It's going to be sovereign U.S. territory. It's going to be America. You as an American could go on that land and could have all of the rights of an American. You will be under American law. And we're going to get large swaths of American land in Greenland. Now, Greenland is a monster island. It only has 50,000 people on it. There are only two major cities with like actual airports. So it's an untamed wilderness that America could have access to. Also, we're going to get mining rights, infrastructure rights, building rights, economic rights, and full access to the Arctic Circle, along with the capacity to put at any place that we wish the Golden Dome. So what that is of course a ballistic missile interception system that would protect the United States and would prevent anyone from ever attacking us. So there you go. Top NATO officials says the organization is working with Donald Trump to implement his vision, not just on Greenland, but for the future of the whole Arctic region in an absolute and total victory. ALX, grab me that new article about Trump saying we're going to do whatever we want with Greenland. Give me that one, please. The president dramatically scrapped tariffs on 8 European countries as he announced a breakthrough agreement with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte for territory Wednesday evening. So Trump got it. It's called The Art of the Deal. Just really quickly, like, you got to understand who the president is. He wrote this book called The Art of the Deal. It's one of the best books I've ever read. Trump wrote it nearly 40 years ago. And it holds up perfectly. So what Trump says is, here's how I get everything that I want in real estate. I ask for 10 times more than I actually want. And then when the person is trying to either sell me the property, loan me the money, whatever deal I'm trying to make, the other side of the table, the other side of the deal reacts in horror, I get up and walk away. I threaten punishment. That brings them back to the deal, and then I negotiate down to what I actually wanted in the first place. Does Trump actually want to be the full and total warlord of all of Greenland? I mean, it is just a giant piece of ice. A massive untapped piece of ice, but that has absolutely zero infrastructure. It would cost trillions of dollars to like build out and modernize the whole island. Would there even be people there to use the modernization? No, I mean, what you really want is an unsinkable air fortress. That's what you actually want. An unsinkable aircraft carrier is what you actually want. And for that purpose, I mean, are a ton of Americans going to want to move to Greenland? I mean, how many? Greenland's like essentially has some of the same vibes as Alaska. How many people live in Alaska? What's the population of Alaska? Is there even like 1 million people that live in Alaska? Like, we already have figured this out. Like, there's not going to be a ton of Americans that are going to want to move to Greenland. 700,000 people live in Alaska. There's more people in Tampa, Klein, than there are in all of Alaska. You know, we live in Tampa. So, like, is that many Americans going to want to move to Greenland? Do we really need, like, room for our, you know, for the American people? I mean, whatever. It'd be cool. You can move to Greenland. Whatever. I mean, hey, nothing's stopping you from moving to Greenland right now. What you really want at the bases. What you really want is to trap Canada. You want full access to the Arctic. You want to be able to detect and intercept ballistic missiles 30 minutes early, which is what Greenland would allow you to do. You want military bases on an unsinkable aircraft carrier on this giant island in the Arctic, and you want to be able to protect all of the shipping lanes around that, because the shipping is no longer going to go east to west. It's going to go north to south. Shipping lanes are going to go through the Arctic. It cuts out like days for shipping routes from the Orient to the Americas and back. So you want control of that, and that's what Trump gets with this deal. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump saying he's going to get everything he wants in Greenland. The solution, is consummated, will be great for the United States of America. NATO said in a statement that negotiations between Denmark, Greenland, and the United States will go forward, aimed at ensuring Russia and China never gain a foothold economically or militarily in Greenland. Rutte told Fox News special reporter Brett Baer on Wednesday that Danish sovereignty over the territory wasn't talked about in the meeting with Trump. We basically discussed how we can implement the president's vision of protecting Greenland, but of course, not only Greenland, but the whole Arctic, by using Greenland. This is what Trump's always wanted. Isn't that fascinating? Look at this. Danish sovereignty was never talked about. Trump never wanted it. He kept telling everyone, I'm going to invade Greenland. I want all of Greenland. I'm going to take all of Greenland. It was never about that. It was about making sure that we could get whatever we wanted from a military perspective and then have it permanently. This is what President Trump said in multiple interviews yesterday. Here's the first one straight out of the meeting. Let's go.
Well, we have a concept. We will have everything we want. We're getting everything we want at no cost.
So the Golden Dome will be on Greenland?
A piece of it, yes, and it's a very important part because everything comes over Greenland. If the bad guys start shooting, it comes over Greenland. So we knock it down. It's pretty infallible. It's amazing. You know, Ronald Reagan had the idea a long time ago, but we didn't have any technology at that point. The concept was great, but there was no technology. Now we have unbelievable technology. I mean, virtually 100%.
So what are we talking about? An acquisition of Greenland? Are you going to pay for it? I mean,
we're talking about it. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. It's there's no end. There's no time limit.
And he's leaving Marco Rubio.
There's no time limit. I'm just going to get whatever I want. How long will you hold these bases, Trump? Remember how lame it was that we built the Panama Canal and then we gave it back 100 years later in the 1970s? So American blood, ingenuity, and strength builds the Panama Canal, changes the world forever. Panama, a third world nation. And then we just give it back like a bunch of morons. We just hand Panama this $1 trillion asset. I mean, can you really even put a price on the Panama Canal? How many goods and services, how much money moves through the Panama Canal every single day? Well, it's tens of billions of dollars. It's trillions of dollars. So what is it? It's priceless is what we did. We built the Panama Canal. We changed the world. It's a priceless asset that we gave back. American blood, ingenuity, strength, might, and toil built the Panama Canal and we just give it back? No. You gotta knock those things back. President Trump saying, I will never give back our bases in Greenland. They're there forever. Here we go.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland. And it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
The market, 600 points, getting back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st.
No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal.
a deal of ownership, a deal?
Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make.
Where does Denmark, did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to?
Well, I assume they did because he very much represents, he's a strong leader. Mark, you know Mark Rutte. And he, I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but
the Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's
forever.
Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal. No, this is forever. This is a long term.
It'll be forever. Donald Trump, an outcast. The remix, ladies and gentlemen, something that is not outcast ever at my house. In fact, the only thing that ever gets thrown in the garbage with masa chips is an empty bag, and there are lots of them. You can't even find masa chips. Yo, try and go. I say go to Sprouts Market. Try it. They're gone. You go to Sprouts Market, and they're like, we can't keep these up on the shelves. Poof, they're gone. Masa chips, baby. It's an awesome company. I'm telling you, they're the best tasting chips. They're so good for you. It's just three ingredients, and it's really hard to find. I'm very upset at my wife because we got a box of them, and my wife gave them to our neighbor, and was like, because our neighbor was like, I can't find any, I can't get any, and she's like, oh, here, have this. Kate, I wanted those. Well, anyway, they're delicious and they're good for you. I mean, they keep you feeling great during the day. No bloat, no you like when you're eating Doritos, you're eating like effectively motor oil is what you're doing. This is corn, salt, and beef tallow. That's it. It's literally good for you. And in fact, they'll make them your whole diet, but they're delicious. Okay, so keep them going. Masa chips, ladies and gentlemen, give them a try. Go to masachip.com/Benny and use the code Benny for 25% off your first order. It is a delicious chip. The crunchiest chip actually you'll ever eat. Link in the description. You can scan the QR code on the screen. Ding, ding, ding. And you can go to your Sprouts local market. Hopefully they have them in stock. Around me, they're like, we ain't got any. They're out of stock. As soon as we put them on the shelves, they're gone. It's great for you. Okay, very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton staring down the barrel of a Jeffrey Epstein arrest. James Comer yesterday presenting the Clinton images was pretty funny if you missed it. Here, we have a little snippet because there was so much going on yesterday, and we had like Donald Trump at Davos and all these other things. And I was like, we could barely get to like this hearing on the Clintons being held in contempt. Here's Comer with these big old Clinton in the hot tub images. Pretty funny.
They had documented relationships with Epstein and Maxwell, evidenced by numerous photographs, flight log records, wedding invitations, and other materials. Some of these photos can be seen here. We repeatedly informed the Clintons' attorney that written statements would not be accepted. The subpoenas required depositions. Federal courts have consistently held that witnesses may not impose their own conditions upon the manner of congressional inquiry. Yet the Clintons attempted to do exactly that, submitting brief, bulleted written statements that are neither comprehensive nor responsive to the committee's many unanswered questions. No witness, not a former president or a private citizen, may willfully defy a duly issued congressional subpoena without consequence.
Bros, please understand the golden sacred timeline that we are living in. Republicans advanced the 2 resolutions to hold the Clintons in contempt. Now it goes to full House vote. So did a ton of Democrats. In fact, there were only 8 Democrats that voted against contempt. The vote in favor of Bill Clinton's contempt resolution was 34-8. This is the biggest untold story of yesterday. 34-8. That means a dozen Democrats joined with Republicans to vote to contempt, hold Bill Clinton in contempt of the committee. 28-15 was the Hillary Clinton vote. So Hillary was able to pry off a few more Democrats. But it is indefensible what they've done. Still, a half dozen Democrats voted with Republicans to hold Hillary Clinton in contempt. Yo! This is wild, man. This is wild. Ghislaine Maxwell is going to come in and testify. It's going to cook. It's going to heat up. We've often said they're going to swing hard for Trump on Epstein. They got nothing else. They're going to swing hard on Epstein with Trump. It ain't perfect how they handled it. I'm upset about it. I've always told you I'm upset about it. I've been angry about it from day one. And I'm bitter. I'm bitter about Epstein forever because the last time that I saw Charlie Kirk in real life, IRL, was backstage during the Student Action Summit here in Tampa. And Charlie was telling me and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson, go, Max, go hard, go in the paint on Epstein. Charlie was like going backstage person to person and hyping all of us up to go out and go scorched earth against Jeffrey Epstein and the handling of the Epstein files, saying that we should have just sent them. Right. And it made me sad that like that was my last in-person interaction since, we obviously he lived in Phoenix. I lived here. So, paths cross kind of things. But that was the last time. I mean, because this was something that he understood on a gut level, the American people needed more. Nonetheless, the Democrats have now taken it made it a weapon to destroy themselves and destroy the Clintons. The Clintons have gotten it so much worse than Trump on this Epstein issue. So much worse. So I guess we'll see what happens next. I mean, we know what happens next. What happens next is then the Clintons get a full contempt vote. Well, if the House is run by Republicans, I doubt that there's a bunch of Republicans that are going to vote to save the Clintons. Could you imagine? And then you already have a number of Democrats voting for contempt in the committee. So then what happens? Bro, they're cooked. It's going to go to the DOJ. And what's going to happen to the DOJ? I doubt they're going to protect Bill and Hillary Clinton. You got all these photos and videos of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton, correction. I've never seen. I mean, is Hillary Clinton in any? ALX is so smart. ALX was handed one of those nuclear binders at the White House. The funny Epstein binders that had all the already available information in them. ALX knew the Epstein issue so well, he knew that it was garbage from the get. That's why you don't see no photos of ALX prancing and dancing with those Epstein binders. ALX, you see this. This is all you got. This is all you got. Look, this is ALX actually doing his diligence and looking at the evidence and saying he called me right after this. He says, not only is this not new information, they've redacted already public information. So it's like peak insult here. ALX did not do some little dance with his Epstein binder and dodged a bullet. This is the best bullet dodge in the recent memory was Donald Trump and Butler, but this, ladies and gentlemen, certainly has a high merit mark for dodging a bullet. ALX not prancing in front of the cameras, doing his due diligence, and what did we find? Well done, ALX. Well done. Careers. Seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? I mean, this seems crazy. It was what? It was about a year ago. Well, aren't we? We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of this, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. So here's my final take on all of this. And we got Chip Roy coming up. Boys, let me know when Chip Roy is locked and loaded. My final take on this is very simple with the Epstein thing. I've been frustrated about it. I've been very frustrated. I've told everyone about this. You got Ghislaine Maxwell sitting here front row at Bill Clinton's daughter's wedding. Bill Clinton was thick, was deep into this. Bill Clinton is the one who never wanted to talk about Epstein. You got Donald Trump. Give me just that one clip. There's one clip last clip I'm going to ask for. Give me Trump up on stage with Sean Hannity. Epstein and the island. You know what criminal goes and tells millions of people, live on stage, to go investigate his crimes? It doesn't happen. It goes against all human nature. Okay? Unless you're like a Gotham villain, or unless you're the Joker, or unless you're something that only exists in comic books, it doesn't happen. Donald Trump started his political career saying you need to investigate Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton is an animal. He's a monster here. Listen.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
This is Donald Trump in 2015. And you're telling me that in 2016, in 2020, in 2024, President Trump wins the election 3 times, that the left was sitting there on a binder, right, an ALX binder, that included career-ending photographs of Donald Trump doing illicit, lurid, or illegal activities with young girls. You're telling me that the left had the Trump kill shot, as it were, just there, just right over there on the shelf, and they decided not to use it. That's what you're asking me to believe that, when the left literally used metaphorical bullets, right, in the form of raiding Trump's house, the Access Hollywood tape, locking up Donald Trump, mugshot for Donald Trump in jail for 50 years, 40 years, 400 years. You're telling me that the left, who shot literal bullets, metaphorical and literal bullets at Donald Trump to try and kill him, to stop him from running, had all the evidence just sitting there, and all they had to do was crack open the book when they were in charge of all the branches of government and the deep state. I don't buy it. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm sure there's going to be embarrassing stuff in all of this. Sure, there's been embarrassing stuff in these files for everyone. But the real scoundrel, the real horn dog, the real scumbag is Bill Clinton. And just get me really quickly that cursory Bill Clinton. The Daily Mail has a good article. But they're like there's all these photos of Bill. No, I need the new photo. No. These are the old ones. Bill Clinton has his clothes on in these photos, right? Yeah. You know, Bill Clinton with all these young chicks sitting in his lap, these young women. I don't know if they're underage, but they're young girls. They're young chicks. Are they half his age? Are they more than half his age? Probably. They're all sitting in his lap. He's got his arms all around him. They're all in the private jet. You know, you black out the faces because the girls are the victims. Bill Clinton naked in a hot tub. I don't know if he's naked, but there are chicks in there. They got black boxes over their chests. You know what I mean? Like, they did all these photos of it. Jamie Comer just had a couple of them up in Congress. So, like, where are those photos? If this is such, like, a terrible thing for Donald Trump, all you have to do is search Daily Mail, Bill Clinton photos. You know, they'll have a whole, like, list of them. If this is such a terrible thing, there's a good one. Yeah, that's the article. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Show all these. Yeah, just pop them up. So here's Bill Clinton inside this marble pool. Got these chicks swimming with him. I think it's Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. There you go. He's in the hot tub. He's got the Spy Who Shagged Me shirts on. Yeah, dude. Keep it rolling. You got these young chicks. I mean, these young chicks. You got these young girls, right? You got these young girls. Yikes. You know, you got these little young kids, you know, in these photos. Obviously, yeah, of course. Keep going. Keep it rolling. Kevin Spacey on this trip said that there were young girls on the flight. Here's what Kevin Spacey says. There are young girls on the flight on this trip, and that they were putting Bill Clinton in jeopardy because Epstein kept trotting out these young women on the plane to entertain Bill Clinton. Well, now, and then you get a bunch of photos like this. This is the Bill Clinton one. Where's the one with him and the chick in his lap? You know, there's one. There's one. Here's this young girl. He's sitting on Bill Clinton's lap. Look at his arm. He's on his thigh. His hand's on her thigh. Okay. Don't tell me. No, I'm not going to believe it. No. I wasn't born yesterday. So you're going to have to show me something else. It ain't perfect the way that they handle this. I didn't like the way they handled it. I wish they would have just come out with this stuff. You know? Just do it. Anyway, you got The View and you got Jon Stewart out here saying, like, roasting Bill Clinton, saying he should testify. And now he might go to jail for this. I mean, if there's one person that this whole Epstein saga has really harmed, it's Bill Clinton. There's one person that could go to jail for all this, it's Bill Clinton. Yo. It's bad. I mean, the things that they told us about Epstein was obviously all true. You know, it's all real. It's all real. Anyway, where did he get his money? Jeffrey Epstein get all his money? Where did he get all these planes, flying these planes? Like, these are like $50 million planes. Where did he get his money? What did he do exactly? Yeah, what did he do exactly? Anyway, speaking of money, American financing, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump yesterday talked about capping high-interest credit card loans, usury rates at 10%. It's wonderful that he talked about that. There are Americans who are suffering and drowning in high-interest credit card debt. American financing can get you out of that debt. They can refinance that debt for you. It's the 30 and 40, 20 and 30% interest rates that should be criminal. President Trump is trying to stop them, but those are the things that are designed to keep you in debt slavery for the rest of your life. Get out. Get out. Get American financing to help you access the equity in your home at an interest rate in the low fives. You heard that right, in the low fives. They can bundle then all of that together in the low fives, saving you 20% on those interest rates, man. Saving you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year. Call today, 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219. AmericanFinancing.net/. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to bring you some of Jack Smith's. I'm just going to check in with my team. Is anything happen with Jack Smith? Did we get anything? No? Nothing happened with Jack Smith? Okay. All right. Trump will be unleashing ICE on Somalis in Maine. Ooh, boy, as agents go door to door. We have a number of people who have been telling us, little birdies, let's just say, in federal law enforcement. We do live inside of a city that has a lot of federal law enforcement in it. That has a lot of members of the Trump administration, a lot of members of the military. The military is being activated. North Carolina military is being activated. Alaska National Guards being activated. Prepare. There's going to be like a full military crackdown in Minneapolis. Operation Catch of the Day. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Who names these things? Can I name one? It sounds really fun to like be able to name one of these ICE raids. This is a massive ICE raid to begin rounding up Somalis in Maine as part of the administration's latest immigration crackdown. Federal agents are sweeping through the state's two largest cities, Portland and Lewiston. The Department of Homeland Security announced Operation Catch of the Day. Homeland Security spokesperson Trish McLaughlin, let's try and book her tomorrow, would love to chat with her about all this, announced that the agents had arrested multiple individuals on the first day of the operation. Local officials in Maine's two biggest cities are warning residents that ICE will begin ramping up its enforcement operations in the next few days. It's music to my ears. Meanwhile, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maine warned citizens against impeding ICE agents from carrying out their operation. The problem that you're going to have in Maine is, one, you have a much lower population than Minnesota. What's the population of Maine? And two, you have like a state that is actually purple. Instead of a state that like is blue, so Maine has 1.4 million people in it. Instead of a state that is like blue and completely ravenous, in Maine you have like a lot of like retirees and a lot of people that are like snowbirds and a lot of people that want to be left alone. You also have like quite a few, like some big time Republican counties. That's a good map right there. What is that map, Klein? Pop that up, shall we? These are like voter registrations. You can see like red and blue. Okay, mailbox question require absentee. Oh, okay. Give me like the voter registration data, please. This is not the map that we want. Maine is more of like a centrist state. I know that it does go blue, but it doesn't go blue by wide margins. And Maine can be won by Republicans in our lifetime and has been won by Republicans in our lifetime. And so I don't think you're going to have the same type of like sociopathic, rabid activity that you see in Minnesota, is what I'm saying. So yeah, you could see here the main counties that just are like kind of like blue versus red. It's kind of like there's like a couple of blue counties there by the coast. They're light blue, they're not dark blue. And it's like what's the voter breakdown actually? I'm kind of curious about this. What is the voter breakdown? I'm going to ask like the production team there it is, sitting right there. Just tell me it's in the chat. There you go. Total registered voters, 1 million. Democrats, 369,000. Republicans, 320,000. So you got 33% and 29% of the vote, respectively. You effectively have like a split state there. right? So there you go. You just ain't going to have the same situation that you have in Minnesota. It's great. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have been waiting on Chip Roy, but we're not going to wait any longer. We got our California investigation that we're going to get to, and we got to keep rocking here. So, sorry, we're just going to cut Chip Roy, tell his team thanks a lot, but no thanks. And he was doing votes in the House, so don't hold it against him, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we'll be heading to the great state of Texas this weekend. Please pop up the promo if you would. If the weather holds, I keep getting all these notifications that there's going to be like massive potential weather problems there. We'll be there with Jim Jordan if we could get in, but we'll see. It's supposed to be some massive ice storm in Texas this weekend and this week. So prepare, lock in, hunker down, ladies and gentlemen. These are the nice winter months where it's good to get a good night's sleep. Helix Sleep provides that excellent night's sleep for me. As you can tell, we have a little extra pep in our step. We finally caught up on our sleep. It's tough when you got a bunch of kids under house. My wife's sister's visiting too right now. So we got 9 kids in the house right now, 10 kids in the house right now. Make sure you lock in your sleep. Got beautiful 8 hours of sleep last night. Oh, it's awesome. Wake up, get a workout in. Helix Sleep helps me out. Helix Sleep, not only the mattress for my wife and I, but also our kids all have Helix Sleep mattresses. And they run their little butts off all day. And they sleep also like a dream. Most of them. The little ones still going through ups and downs. Anyway, Helix Sleep Quiz will make sure you have the perfect mattress for you. It's an award-winning mattress, free shipping, and seamless delivery. The Happy with Helix guarantee makes sure that you can rest easy with seamless returns or exchanges, but you won't want to. The Helix Sleep mattress will be the best mattress you have ever slept on in your life. 120-night sleep trial and a lifetime guaranteed warranty. You have nothing to lose. Make the switch today and sleep and dream in this great golden era. Go to helixsleep.com/Benny, 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Benny, 20% off site-wide. Make sure that you enter the show name at checkout so they know who sent you. helixsleep.com/Benny. Helix Sleep, baby. Sleep like a baby with this, or at least rest easy with this verse of the day. Behold, God is my helper, the Lord with those who uphold my life. He will repay my enemies for their evil. Cut them off in your truth. Psalms 54. You choose that today, Klein? That's amazing. I was just reading Psalms 54. This is awesome, dude. What an incredible verse. Yeah, I was sending some Bible verses this morning to some friends that are fighting back the forces of evil. I can't believe this. I just got chills. I sent this exact Bible verse to people who are arresting criminals in Minnesota today. Behold, God is my helper. The Lord is the upholder of my life. He will return evil upon my enemies. Your faithfulness will put an end to them. I just got chills. That is exactly the verse. I did not know. I do not coordinate. Sometimes I ask for certain verses, but I do not coordinate the verse of the day. The team picks it and kind of roll with the news cycle and try. Man, this is great. Yes, air bump. Ladies and gentlemen, air bump to you. The Benny Brigade. A good lock for God and a good lock for our country. Let us march forward in victory that is assured to us. Remember, in the end, we win. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Truth gon' be faith and freedom. on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.